I know it's not much in the way of repayment, but it is my grandmother's recipe, and she made me promise only to serve it to my future husband. You know, it's like filled with virtue or something.
I thought I detected a whiff of virtue in there.
Not that I'm complaining, but you really should be thanking the nut in the mask.
He's not a nut. I mean, he's a little weird,
Well,
maybe.
we're just glad you're okay.
Here, here.
Well, if it weren't for you two, I'd still be in that cell.
The job's easy when your client's innocent. All you did was tell the truth.
Yeah, but you listened.
Hello, nice to chat with you today.
Thank you. Yeah, you too.
You know, the first thing I want to ask about is I mean, this character, I mean, she has a pretty dark story in the comic books.
Yes.
I'm sure everyone's asking about it, but I mean, did you, when you were reading up on the character, did you read a lot of that or just kind of a little?
I read a lot of it. I mean, you know, you sort of skip around. You don't want to, you don't want to overdo it because you want her to be, you want to author her a little bit. You want it to be your own story. But I definitely wanted to be sure that I hit all of her marks, and they are extreme, extreme marks for her. So yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of fascinating, and I wanted to make sure that, the girl, the innocent, naive sort of girl that we meet in, 1964 could kind of coexist with the dark girl from the sort of 80s, 90s stuff.
Well, I think because of the way things come around, sometimes it almost feels like it's fresh again. Did you find any elements of her storyline that kind of felt like they actually kind of fit quite well with today?
Like when I was doing my research, I mean, specifically for that, I don't know. I mean, I think to me, the Karen Page that we were working on in the show she's kind of a loner. So I think that's something that I think in this world of sort of digital media and all that stuff that, we are dealing with this idea of how do you maintain relationships. And so I wonder if that's maybe something that could be kind of relevant in this day and age, that she's kind of on her own, and she has to, Matt and Foggy are kind of her only friends,
Right.
So it's, when those friendships go downhill, she's sort of left with nothing.
So how much did you know about her when you started shooting? Did you have like the full gamut of the scripts, or did you just kind of the beginning stuff?
No, yeah, I mean, it's like
Yeah,
any TV
of
where
course.
you only have a little bit, so you don't really know what you're getting into. Now, when I was considering doing the part, I had done the audition, they said they were interested, and we were just getting more information. Jeff Loeb very generously got on the phone with me and told me their kind of general ideas about where they wanted to go with her. Because I was nervous, you do kind of, as a woman, you worry about, well, am I just going to be the girl or the damsel in distress and all of those sort of keywords that you want to steer clear of. And so in speaking with him and him sort of revealing where it went towards the end of the season, I said, that sounds like something that's really interesting and really an independent, character in the story.
Right. And I mean, even based on the comic book, she could be his love interest,
Yeah.
his coworker,
yeah.
or like action pal, I
Yeah,
guess you
yeah.
could say. So once you were actually like filming it, what did you think of her? Did you have elements that changed as you were actually on set, or was it all just like, no, I've got her?
No, certainly things evolve. I think the thing that I ended up really loving about her is this determination. She's headstrong in that kind of great way that you don't always get to play as a woman. You have to make sure everybody likes you, so you have to sort of lean away from that. And I liked the idea that with her, I really wanted to lean into the fact that she's pushy.
Right.
And you got to deal with that. She's gonna save the world. Figure it out, guys. Like I even love the fact that towards the end, she doesn't know that Matt is the masked man, right? So, he's talking to her and he's going, we have to use the law, we have to do things by the book. And I love her being like, dude, you're not going far enough. And if only she knew what he was doing with his other life, she'd be on board. But for her, Matt's kind of a wet blanket, like, get it together. And I like the idea that she's the pushiest person in the room. And I tried to really lean into that and make that a big part of her character, because I think it's kind of cool and unusual.
I'll get this into the right hands.
No, you can't. You can't take it to the police. You can't trust anyone.
Then we tell everyone.
The show, I mean, from everything we've seen, basically is probably the darkest thing that Marvel's ever done for
Yeah, I think
screen.
so, yeah.
Did you get a hint of that on set while you're filming, or
Sure.
did you did? Yeah.
Well, I
of
mean,
course.
even just literally half the time you're like, are they going to know that it's me talking? Because I feel like you can't see anything. You know? So yeah, there was that, and you know, a lot of the buzzwords that they had given us were things like mean streets and
Right.
Serpico and things like that. So we knew they were going for a really gritty, real look. And I like when you watch the show in a high definition, they've even put like a grainy wash over it, which I think is so fantastic, because sometimes that crystal clear picture that we can do nowadays, for me, can be distracting.
Right.
So I like the idea that it looks like film.
And I mean, you know, like for the number of things Marvel has done already, to be going down this dark path now, did you feel like you were trailblazing?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't know, you know, if Marvel fans are used to, you know, what we might say sort of more family-friendly fare, you know, we didn't know if they're actually going to come with us into this other world. Now, luckily, we took characters whose storylines were already quite dark and quite complex. And so we knew that at least diehard fans would kind of know what they were in for.
Did you, I mean, otherwise working with the whole, like, I mean, the stunts are phenomenal. Did you get to watch some of those?
Sure. I
Yeah,
mean,
of
when they're
course.
fighting
Yeah.
in front of
You're
Karen
like, "Oh,
Page,
God."
I like actually get to sit there and watch them fight in front of me. And they did a remarkable job. And Charlie too. I mean, for him to pick up as much as he did
Right.
in as quick a time, you know, it's really quite impressive. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I CGI in the same way that like that crystal, you know, clear focus. They're wonderful advancements, but sometimes they can take you out. And so I love that we went back to sort of old school, hand to hand. You know, I don't think they even sped up the film. I think that's
Right.
just them. And in a way, that lumbering, effortful fighting that you then see it's so unique now, because we're used to seeing lightning quick stuff, and
Right.
it takes a lot of effort to throw a punch, you know, and I like that we really see that.
Well, and even some of the scenes where you see them actually in a hallway,
Yeah.
for instance, fighting it out, and it just seems like it's too fast.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Yeah. So what's your, you know, quick pitch? What do you want people to get out of this once they sit down and watch it?
I think the one of the things that I really admire about the Daredevil story is that it's about not standing by. It's about when you see someone who's being taken advantage of or being hurt, that you should stand up and you should speak out. And you know, that's something that I think in this day and age we lack. You know, so in the same way that, you know, not to say that we're To Kill a Mockingbird or anything like that, but you know, that those stories really came about in a time period where they needed people to stand up. And I hope that you watch this and people say, you know, if you see something, you should stand up for the little guy, you know.
Nice.